What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Um, listen, this is your boy Chef Dada. Listen, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and get subscribed. Okay, I don't know what you're waiting on. Make sure you hit that like button as you come on in here. You guys know that I'm going to have to deliver this as calm as I possibly can. This is super upsetting to me. Um, And I know too, a lot of people, and I can only imagine what Shanquilla's family is going through at this very moment. So please, I do ask as you guys come in here, this chat will be respectful. We don't want to have to block anybody, time anybody out. We're not here to do that. But please, let's try to remain respectful. I also understand that some of us may have some particular language that we may want to speak, but I ask that you guys be as creative as possible with your curse words. Because I know we are angry. Like I'm literally shaking right now because I'm angry. Um, the system has yet felt another black queen that we saw on video, and I'm really just speechless. My prayers go out to Miss Salamandra Robinson, to Shanquilla's sister as well, Miss Khalil. Wait, I, her name was Quilla. I'm sorry. And to Mr. Robinson, I really just want to wrap my arms around them and give them the biggest hug because this is crazy. Um, so we are going to take a look at the Charlotte Post. They did make a statement. Um, the U.S. officials meeting Shanquilla Robinson's family regarding federal investigation of her death. Now, the crazy thing about this is um, I saw articles going around that they were to be talking to the Federal Bureau of Investigations today, and this breaks my heart. This really does. This really breaks my heart. So give me just a second. I'm about to share my screen. Um, please, if nothing else, can you guys please make sure that you hit that like button? I do know that I kind of didn't have an opportunity to promote that I was going to be going live, but if you guys can hit that like button so that we can so people can see this. This is absurd. This is this is absurd. Um okay, I'm trying to get it together. Is there a way I can make this bigger? It's not really that big, but okay. So we all know what has been happening about with Shanquilla, going on a trip with some people that you think are your friends, and they're not your friends. And to literally see your daughter beaten with no help, it's crazy. And y'all are not bringing charges on these people. I can't. I can't. Hold on one second, guys. Um, whew. Okay, can you guys see this? Uh-oh, I'm so sorry about that, y'all. Let me change this. There we go. All right. And I don't really honestly think you guys can see this all that big. But this was for immediate release. The Texas Department of Justice, United States Attorney Sandra Harrison, and Dina J. King. All right. This is the United States Attorney's Office for the Middle and Western Districts of North Carolina. For immediate release Wednesday, April the 12th, 2023, federal officials meet with the family of Shanquella Robinson. Charlotte, North Carolina, federal officers with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Middle and Western District of North Carolina and the FBI meet with the family of Miss Shanquella Robinson and the family representatives today to offer their condolences and present the findings of the federal investigation into the death of Miss Robinson. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Ms. Robinson has been a priority for federal prosecutors and the FBI. I'm gonna call bull Swiss on that. I call bull Swiss on that. Again, it says the investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Ms. Robinson have been a priority for federal prosecutors. Do I feel like that's just something that y'all have to say? The FBI has worked diligently to conduct a detailed and thorough investigation of the evidence available in the case. In coordination with Ms. Robinson's family, an autopsy was conducted in the United States by the medical examiner's office in, I think that's Mecklenburg County. As in every case under condition for federal prosecution, the government prove must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a federal crime was committed. Based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both U.S. Attorney's Office, federal prosecutors informed Ms. Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. Um, it goes on to say that the death of Miss Robinson has been incredibly difficult for her family and the community as a matter of policy. Federal officials generally do not issue public statements concerning the status of an investigation. However, given the circumstances of Ms. Robinson's death and the public concern surrounding the investigation, it is important to reassure the public that experienced federal agents and seasoned prosecutors um bull crap on this, yo. They have reviewed the available evidence and have concluded that the federal charges cannot be pursued. As in any case, the government is prepared to review and examine new information related to the investigation should it become available. You know, I, I'm trying to really get it together, but the most hurtful thing is I'm sure that family walking away. I honestly don't have any words, y'all. I don't. I really don't. I understand. I totally get it, Brittany. Hello to everybody. Y'all know I normally speak, but this right here is mm, Yeah, I honestly have absolutely no words. We seen this. We seen this. We seen this happen. And it's literally like telling the family, no, that's not how your daughter passed away. That's not what happened to your daughter. It's literally like a slap in the face for them. My prayers go out to Miss Salamandra Robinson, again, Mr. Robinson, and to Quilla Long, Shanquilla's sister, because again, I can only imagine how they felt. And I'm hold on one second, guys. I want to look up something else really quick here. Please like the video. Please, please, please. Let me speak to y'all while I try to get it together here. Um, hey, Simply Elegant One ranted with Ricardo, Nicole, Veronica, Miss Nikki, Kimmy, Brittany, Time Out Sports Podcast. Um, Lord Karma, what's going on? Kristen, what's going on? Prosperity the Girl 40, Terry, Jamie, Louisiana Chick, Monique, Alma, let's see, Miss Vernita, how are you guys doing? Katrina, how are you? Sharice, what's going on? Yumina, I again just wanted to speak to everybody. It's in me. It's in me. I have to speak. I have to speak. Um, I I okay, so I'm gonna read this article because I think it goes further into what's going on. So give me one second, y'all. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. Um, many comes. Okay, that article is not very detailed. Give me one second, guys. Charlotte Observer. Subscribe to continue reading. I hate when they do that, but I like their content because they're right there. Okay. Um. Oh God. Um. Okay. So I wanted to see Mexican prosecutors open an investigation into Robinson's death a few days earlier. By then, news of her unaliving had. Um. Okay. So this is still not what I needed to know. Authorities in Mexico said in November that they were investigating Robinson's death as a femicide, a crime that refers to unaliving a woman because of her gender. In a statement released to the U.S. time, in a statement released at the time, prosecutors in Baja California Sur said that they were seeking to extradite a woman from the U.S. back to Mexico in connection to the unaliving. There are there has been a couple of interviews that have been done, and some of those interviews have been with Ben Crump and the lady that is I can't think of her name. I think her name is Sue Ann Robinson. She's nothing related to the Robinson family, but I had seen them start to do interviews and different things of that sort. So I know that there's an interview with Queen Sheba and um and I know this was done before the decision was made today, but it kind of clears up some things and some questions that we may have. Um, I have to be completely honest with you guys. I don't know what this looks like for. what Mexico is going to do. I don't know that they have specifically closed the case there. Is where I'm going with that. I haven't read anything that says that they closed the case. I know for a fact that they stated that they wanted the US to pick it up. However, again, like I said, I don't know if they've closed the case. Um, so my thought is, and I hate to think this way, but my thought is if the US isn't gonna do anything, I don't think Mexico is gonna do anything. And I say that because when Suan went over there, she stated that while she was trying to do like a deep dive by going to the villa, by going to the hospital where the doctor and the nurse worked, by going to these places, she stated that they told her, and the Mexican government told her, that if she wanted to know anything further than what they have already discovered, she must, she must ask the people who were on this trip with her. That's exactly what she said. And again, that's the reason why I just, this, this is hurtful. This is hurtful. These people get to comfortably do everything and no charges is going to be brought against them. I listen to me and listen to me real good. And I stand 10 toes down on what I'm getting ready to say. I've stated it time and time again that I hope that everything that they do, they are never comfortable. I hope and I pray that the Cabo Six never have a comfortable day in their life ever again. And I mean that with all sincerity. I hope you don't sleep comfortable. Nothing, nothing good will ever come to any of y'all. And as far as I'm concerned, based off of the chatter that's on Twitter, honey, y'all think y'all really been hiding? I am truly, man, I don't, I don't know what to say. Y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all know that this has been something that I have stuck with since the beginning. I have stuck with this since the beginning. So to literally honestly read that they go in, I don't know what the family's mind could have been set on, you know what I mean? Because there's tons of emotions, there's tons of things that are going on with them. I don't know what their thought process was going into this, but the broken part for me is literally telling them that there's not enough evidence to support them actually visually seeing their daughter be attacked, beaten, and there's no charges. Really? uh You definitely can come up if you'd like to, too, feisty. I don't mind at all. I'm just, y'all. Y'all know I've been following this from the beginning, and the biggest thing for me was I just did not want this to be a situation like this. No, just okay. I'm looking at another article here, because I really want to know what is okay. So, this was the first article. This is from today. This was literally published like 15 minutes ago. They literally have a photo of them walking into. Hold on one second. Let me stop sharing this one. Hey, sis.
Hey, Chef. I want to come up here and lend some support. Um,
I appreciate it.
this is not a good place to be. It's not. Um, but I tweeted the a clip from the spoken word I sent that I saw yesterday, and it encompasses how I feel as a black woman in America and how this feels experiencing this. This is triggering. It's it's gaslighting, and I hate that her name is on a list, a long, too long of a list of black women who does not seek, have not gotten justice for what has happened to them. But I will never forget her name, and I'm always going to say that she deserved better from this world. She deserves so much better.
I
Um,
agree.
she
I
deserves so much
totally
better.
agree.
And the outcome may not have been what we wanted it to be, but I'm not going to forget Shanquella. I'm going to continue to speak her name, and I'm never going to let people forget what happened to her and that she deserved better.
I
Um,
agree.
we all can continue to do the same. We lend support. We support one another, and we just have to do our part to make this world a safer place for black women. That is what we can do when it comes to legislation, when it comes to our community interactions, when it comes to our family interactions. This pain is all too familiar, and we just have to do our part to just make it a much safer world.
I agree. I totally agree.
But I am here with you all. I support you all, and I care deeply, and I want you all to be okay, and I want you all to be safe.
Yeah, I'm really honestly, I'm at a loss for words, and these tears will not stop because, again, like you said, it's how the black woman is continuously treated, and I hate to see it. I'm an advocate for black women. I yeah, I'm we're gonna watch the press conference here when they started. I'm currently looking at the page right now, but um I just again I hate to see things like this and like you said being added to another long list.
Entirely too long of a list. Um, this hurts. It hurts. I mean, I'm just be honest. It's like we are neglected in our community, and we lend so much, to everybody. We give so much ourselves to everybody. If this were a black man, they would have taken to the streets. They would have taken to the streets. There would have been protests around the world. We've seen it happen. We've watched it happen. For this, it's when it's a black woman, it's just like another day. The list is
Yeah,
entirely too long, and we just have to do our part to stop letting names be added to that list. We have to make our community safer. We have to. We need to get these abusers and these unalivers and all these dangers in our communities up out of here. They don't belong here. They don't belong here. They should have no place, no space to thrive in our communities. That is what we can do.
I totally agree. Um, I I I, I totally agree. I, man,
I just want you guys to know I support you. I just want you to know that I'm with you. I'm truly numb right now. That's the only reason why I'm not emotional. This feeling is just so familiar. It's so familiar. I have to mentally desensitize myself so that I'm not as reactive. But I'm here with you all. I feel you. And I know this hurts. It hurts. It hurts thinking about her family and how they're taking this. It's a huge letdown for so many of us. But I'm here. I'm supporting you guys. I'm sending love your way. And I just want you to know, like, for me, I'm not forgetting her name. I'm going to continue to say her name. For anybody that follows me on Twitter, for the last couple months, my name has been Justice for Shanquilla Robinson. And I was not going to change my Twitter name until we got justice. I'm not going to forget her name. I'm not going to forget Ayanna Jones' names. I'm not going to forget. It's a lot of women. Alua Toyin's name. It's so many black women whose names I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget Shanquilla's name. And I'm never going to ever forget to let everybody know she deserves better from this world.
absolutely. To honestly go on a trip with some people that you with at least one person that you thought was your best friend, and to hear him say you ain't gonna fight back, yo, like that. To also, even if you didn't break bread with these people, you stood in these people's house and lied to her family. Like, I just don't understand. Like, y'all are supposed to live a comfortable life from like I, I don't get it.
We are going to do our best to get through this one. And we just going to, like I said, continue to fight and expose these predators, expose these abusers. We're going to continue to expose them. They will not sit comfortably in my communities. They will not. That's what we got going on over here. And you on some mess, you're getting called out. Not only are you getting called out, but we start shining a huge spotlight on you. You do not belong here. And you have to go. Chasing you out of the village.
Yeah, I just I um man. So guys, I'm waiting for the press conference to start. It should be starting any minute here, according to the website. Um, and so we're gonna listen to this bull crap. Um, I just wow, Shanquilla should be trending right now. I hate to see this.
If you guys would like to see there's a spoken word poem by an art excuse me a poet that her name is Bree Esther Estoric Esoteric, I'm sorry, Esoteric, ESO Teric, and it's called Women of Blood. Um, she speaks very powerfully about this and how this is happening to too many Black women. If you guys, if you are following me on Twitter, then it's pinned at the top of my page. But if you want to look it up on YouTube later, her name is Briesoteric, Bree Esoteric, and she had a very powerful message about this, and I just posted a clip of that, and I attached it, I retweeted it to that statement from the Justice Department because it's true. So we just gonna do our best to put this in a place where we can process it in a way that is healing. Because we can't give up. We cannot give up, and we have to continue to do what we can to make this world safer for our community. We just absolutely have to.
I agree.
Um, Hi, Jeremy. Um, Unfortunately, we did receive breaking news that they are, the Justice Department will not be pursuing any charges. Um, and they're pretty much closing the case on what happened to Shanquilla Robinson. Nobody's getting prosecuted. Nobody's going to jail.
It's it's past 1:30 on the East Coast, right?
Yes, it's 151.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out why it's not starting. Let me see.
Um,
I hate when
I'm
my
not sure if
emotions
her
get that.
family plans on pursuing civil charges. I think they should, especially for the attacker in the video that we have all seen ad nauseum. But in terms of criminally, I think this is all the options they're going to have. I don't know if pressure from the public will make any difference. Um, but they did release an official statement from the Justice Department. Jeremy,
I can put it
I'm
down.
not sure what the next step is. I'm hoping that Ben Crump has a plan in place for the family in the event that this was going to happen. But that is their official statement, guys. I don't know what the next step would be. I wish I did. I don't have a I only have a law degree in TV. Um, got my law degree from SVU, but I don't know what the next step would be. But I'm hoping that we during this press conference they let us know what the next steps are.
Yeah, and we're just waiting on the press conference to start. I downloaded the app on my phone because
Hmm.
um
Hopefully we can. There are some other options, and it's something that will give the family some sort of peace.
yeah, that's my main thing. Like,
Hmm.
oh God, give them peace because I know this has to be just it's just a really sick. Like I'm sick to my stomach. Like
Yeah.
I don't have words. Honestly.
The response to this has been pretty much the same. Um, Everybody's either numb or disappointed. I'm numb. I'm just because this has happened so much. This has happened so many times, and not just overall for Black people, but especially for us. But I get the emotions. I've been here. I've just been here so much. It's like, yo, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, I just
It's so hard, and it's worse when it's people that look like us that's responsible.
and you know what my biggest prayer has been because we haven't heard much from him is her dad.
Hmm.
I just honestly pray. I don't know how he's doing. I don't know anything. I just honestly pray. The last interview that I seen him do was with Mark Lamont Hill, And I again just pray that God just wrap his arms around him because we haven't heard nor have we seen him in some time now, y'all. And that has been like my biggest thing. Like I don't know what's going on with him, and that it breaks my heart to just think about it.
And we just gotta continue to pray. I mean, we God, we've been here so many times. We see the lasting effects on the families, yo. And some of them try to channel that pain into progress, like Trayvon Martin's mother. But we've seen the devastation on like Mike Brown's mother. We've seen Philando Castile's fiance, how that affected her for so long. You know, we've been here. We've seen how these families show. Eric Garner's daughter died of a broken heart. She tried so long to get justice for her father. And I mean, it literally that pain literally took her up out of here. And that's why I'm just trying to send as much positive energy everybody's way because this type of pain don't go away. This type of pain don't just fade after a day or two. And people still need the support. Long after the media stops caring, people still need their support. People still need the encouragement to keep moving forward, however that may be.
Yeah, that's my
This
biggest
is not
thing.
easy. This is not easy. This is hurtful.
Yeah, I'm yeah. I don't have no words. I don't.
And you
My
know
heart
what?
just
You
broke.
don't have to. You don't have to. There's no rule book on how to deal with this. That's the messed up part. There's no playbook. There's no playbook on how to respond, how to deal with this. All we can do is be honest about how we feel and try our best to process these emotions. And then again, I think just the best thing we can do is just make it into something progressive. I'm determined to make this community. I challenge everything. This can't be it. Like, this world is already not safe for us, but in our community, we should be okay. We should be safe.
I
We
agree.
should be
I
encouraged. We should be uplifted. We should be supported. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure the people around me feel that.
I just um looking on his Twitter page.
Her life mattered. Everybody on here life matters. Every single person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Thank y'all for bearing with me and sticking with me. I know other people are probably live as well. I appreciate y'all for being here. Um,
I know this is hard, Chef. I know this is deeply difficult for you. I'm always gonna support you. That's why I was like, if you need some company, I'll come up there. You ain't gotta have the words. You ain't got to have the words.
yeah, I just mm,
You ain't gotta have the words at all. We
I keep getting these websites mixed up. It's not WTW. It's WSOC. WSOC. Okay, I just want to make sure we saw the right thing because it says a lot of news develops before I get into the newsroom at 2:30 today. I plan to watch a news update on my Alexa while I get ready at 2. Okay, so that's a lady. Brooke told the family is about 17 minutes away. That was 11 minutes ago. So
okay.
they're waiting on the family before they do the press conference, guys. So thank you again for being patient and bearing with me. And I appreciate all the support. I'm hugging y'all too, sending love because I know this could be triggering for a lot of people, and a lot of times it's hard to watch these types of things. Um,
Yes. Um. Whew. I'm hoping.
it's a woof worthy situation.
Yes, I'm
Like,
telling you. I don't know what's this getting ready to happen with this with the family, but I'm hoping they are supported. I'm hoping they're supported because I know this is not easy. Um.
and
I
I see,
and I applaud
everybody.
their strength because I wouldn't be able to show up to no press conference right now.
I was getting ready to say the family showing up to a press conference, and y'all just told me y'all not bringing no charges against these people at all. Man, come on.
And a lot of times people are like, where's this, where's that? I learned with Mike Brown and Ferguson. She was his mother. She was there when they made the decision. It was no press conference for her when they made the decision not to pursue charges for the officer that unalived him. She was there in the crowd with everyone, and they were all trying to support her. And I just remember being in tears that night. That reaction was so raw and real. That lady was in so much pain. It made me realize why these families don't show up. When they're not in court on the day that the verdict is rendered and all that stuff, I wholeheartedly understand. It ain't easy, y'all.
That, and then, I'll give my sister's case, for example, like what we honestly see back then, like a couple years ago, they don't allow you to, like, they don't want you to show any type of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
When
Because they
things
think it'll
begin.
incite people, and you
Mhm.
have to police. It's the same thing that happened with Angela Bassett. We have to police how we feel, and we have to police how we demonstrate our emotions if we allow to show any, because it can incite people to want to go to the streets and to want to have outrage and stuff. So I'm not allowed to process what's actually being done to me and my loved one right now. Yo, it's hard being black in this world. It's so hard.
I truly don't think this is going to be the end of this, y'all. Though. I really think we got some people who gonna fight, and I really just, you know, I salute her strength, but to see Miss Salamandra Robinson continuing to fight and get justice for her daughter, I don't see her stopping. I don't see them stopping. Whatever that may look like, like we talked about, bringing charges against them, or whatever that may look like, I just don't see her stopping. And I'm praying that God gives her the strength to continue to keep fighting.
Yeah,
That's what she needs.
because it's a lot of
Okay,
people that give up.
maybe hold on one second. I'm gonna see it. Oh man, now it's saying live stream. It started and then it's now saying live stream starts. I'm gonna take that off the screen for right now while we wait. Um, Thank you guys for the love that you guys show to the channel. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Miss Terry, because you didn't have to do that in this live. But I appreciate the cash app. I do.
Thank you, Miss Terry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just now seeing it. Um,
Thank you guys for the support. I,
Absolutely,
I,
absolutely.
I always get super concerned about Chef when stuff like this happens because I understand how it feels for him. So I truly appreciate y'all being here and lending support. We are a family, we are a community, and the Dun Duns got decorations. We know how to treat each other.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Let me read some of y'all comments because I was paying attention to this news page, y'all.
Hmm.
Hey, friend. I see Mr. Speaks TV came in. Dominique came in. Hey, everybody.
Oh, I
Um,
forgot to ask him if I could still call him Jeremy, if I gotta call him Mr. Speaks.
Mr. Speaks. I don't know if he's still listening, but
I gotta ask him that.
do we need to change the name? Mexico should have taken it, and I think that is my biggest concern
Hmm.
because if we think back. that Mexican not the prosecutor, but the Mexican journalist that was, releasing photos, that was doing all of those things. Like, what do you have to say now? Like, what? I, I don't know. I really don't know. This bothers me a lot.
Hmm.
I'm just hoping in this press conference they explain what options may look like,
Hmm.
in terms of still receiving justice.
You know, Mexico made a lot of blunders, and by the time the U.S. got involved in this sense, a lot of things were done. I truly believe a lot of evidence was destroyed, and which is why I say they should have sent them over there and let them stay over there until they came back, until Mexico released them. A lot of blunders were made, and about a lot of by the time a lot of the physical evidence came back to the U.S. and the authorities here got involved, there was some things that just weren't going to be recovered, and the fault really is on the law enforcement in Mexico
I
for
agree.
these mistakes from the moment. Like, I mean, them leaving was one thing, but there should be a clear cut understanding of what truly happened to her. They didn't even get an understanding of what truly was the cause of death until she, her remains arrived back in North Carolina. That was an incredible blunder. And if that would not have happened if that were a white woman, that just wouldn't have.
No, it wouldn't.
They
It
would have
would.
never, like, they would have never messed that up. It just seemed like they wanted to just sweep it away and try to avoid a travel advisory. Um,
Um,
all they could rely on was physical evidence, and they destroyed most of that.
mm,
Lord Karma, I believe in telling the truth about things and about people. You can judge away this, excuse me, deserves judgment. And I want to say this. I know you are, culturally it is different where you live, and we just don't have the same experiences because we don't have the same we're not from the same demographic. But this right here is too familiar of a feeling. This is not the first, the second, the 10th, the 1,000th time this has happened, that something like this with clear cut evidence, even down to a video, can happen, and everybody gets to walk away. There's no responsibility being held for the people who actually did the unaliving. This is not the first time, and that's why I'm numb. It's just so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that we have to continue to do this. So please judge away.
yeah, I agree with that. I
Judge
agree
away.
with that. I agree.
Um, Listen, I was a child, but I have seen many and many and many a documentary about what happened to Rodney King. There have been so many incidents that have
Miss
taken
Nikki, what are
place.
you seeing it on? Because what I got, it still say it's loading. How you see it? And I'm following. Oh, maybe it started. Okay, maybe it started. Hold on, it's ad.
When the situation happened with Rodney King, there was so many incidents that had taken place that were very similar to that, worse, where people were unalived, and they finally had it on video, and still not a single one of them did a day in jail. They've always said we need body cams, we need videotape, we need this, we need that, and then they have it and they still do nothing. You can walk into the apartment of a black person and unalive them right there in their own places where they're supposed to be safe, and everybody gets to go home. Nothing happens. We've been here before. We've been here so many times. So please judge away. This is our experience.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I'm trying to see. Okay, now then went
Miss
back.
Nikki is saying WCNC on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Said so glad you said that because I was hoping that they had a YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. Um,
Do you need me to mute?
no, 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 you're fine.
Okay.
WCNC, WCNC live. Second, y'all, let me share screen. Oh, it might give like some feedback, so you might.
Okay, yeah, I'll mute.
And we're going to
Okay.
go ahead and get started with this afternoon. I'm going to bring up Attorney Suann Robinson.
Hey, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for having us, Pastor. We really, truly appreciate it. We're here today. Obviously, everyone knows that the
Chef, can you turn that up
This
some?
this is her audio.
indicating that they don't have
But hold on.
any charges after investigating Shankola's case. So we're here today. We're disappointed, but we're not deterred. It's not something that's necessarily unexpected in the sense that Black and Brown people always have to carve their own path to justice. Today, just sitting in the meeting with the family, listening to what was we were being advised and listening to what the so-called investigation was um, revealing, I thought back to Miss Wanda, Ahmad's mother, who had to take her case to the state attorney's office and had to beg for charges to be pressed in the death of her son. And I remembered Sandra Bland's mother, who had to do the same thing when they told us all that an investigation revealed that her cause of death was suicide. And I think most about in Shankola's case because her attack was captured on video, and now we're being told that there aren't going to be isn't going to be an arrest or there aren't going to be any charges brought. It reminds me of George Floyd and how we were told that while we were watching with our own eyes Derek Chauvin putting his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, we were being told that he was having a heart attack and that he was suffering from a drug overdose. So while we're here disappointed, we're not deterred. We're going to continue to press on. We're going to continue to demand that there's a high level of diplomatic intervention in this case. That if the U.S. authorities are now again telling us, oh, well, it's back on Mexico because Mexican authorities have to do something, we don't have a problem with that. We know that we have to carve our own path to justice, and we've been doing that from the very beginning. Um, Mrs. Robinson has demonstrated tremendous strength, and I talk about it all the time, as well as Kola, her sister, having to bury a child, grieve for a child, get through all of that stuff, and then fight for justice for your child at the same time. And then being advised today, well, despite there being a video showing a vicious and brutal attack of your child while she's naked and obviously not fighting back, that there is nothing that can be done in terms of charges being filed by the FBI, that you have to seek your redress and your justice somewhere else. And that's fine. Mrs. Robinson, again, is obviously disappointed, as is all the family at the meeting today. But we're not deterred. We're still going to be marching. We're still going to rally in DC on May 19th, because it shouldn't be that in this country that Black women, Black and Brown victims of crime have to do this every time they are victims of crimes. But it is unfortunately what it is. And again, any discrepancies or any issues with respect to Mexican autopsy versus the autopsy conducted by the FBI, all of those things are going to be a result of a delay. And now we're witnessing the result of a delay, which is why there was always a concern, which is why I always say this is the people's case, this is the people's movement that said, hey, there's no reason why a Black woman should go on vacation with her friends, be returned to her family in a box, and nothing be done for 5 months. That the FBI be permitted to sit on their hands, that they be permitted to say, we're working. because justice delayed can be justice denied. We all know that and have seen it time and time again. And so that's why I say, on behalf of the family, again, we're very disappointed, very deeply disappointed. Um, but we're not deterred because it's something that we've seen before, and we know that we have to carve our own path to justice. Ms. Robinson knew that when she asked me to go on a fact-finding mission to Mexico, that we were obviously in a state of affairs where there's two different justice systems in America. And we know that in ours, we have to fight for our justice. We have to rally for our justice. We have to beg for the same constitutional rights. And Shanquilla is doing that even in death. Even in death, she's having to fight for her rights as a U.S. citizen, as a victim of a crime. The U.S. authorities have to understand and have to know that even if for them it's not about Shanquilla, that United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged with a crime. That cannot be the message that the US authorities want to send. So again, discrepancies caused or discrepancies in the autopsy results between Mexican authorities that we've all been discussing, unfortunately, and not being discussed by the right individuals, have have all been caused by delays. If it had been taken serious from the very beginning, if the internet and the people and social media didn't have to create the movement behind the case, and the authorities would have gotten involved the minute the video surfaced, there wouldn't have been a delay. There would have been immediate statements taken from the individuals involved. There would have been time to take an immediate autopsy of the body before it was embalmed. All of those things would have been done, but because it was the death of a young, Black, beautiful, brilliant, educated woman who was on vacation, justice was delayed. There was no investigation done. It was not taken seriously until the people had to say, hey, we're not going to accept that this is just what it is. This can't be just what it is. We see with our own eyes an attack, an assault, a crime happening, and nothing's being done. That came from you all. That came from the people saying, we demand answers. And today we actually ended up with way more questions than answers. And so that's why I'm determined and fully aware, and the team, Ben Crump, Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, Mario Black, all of us, we stand with this family, and we're going to stand with this family till the very end. And we're going to be in Washington, and we're going to rally because we understand, unfortunately, what the job is, what the work is, and that we have to carve our own path to justice in these cases. And we've seen it time and time again. And I've said it in other press conferences. I would like to be put out of this line of business. I don't want to be here on behalf of another beautiful Black family begging for dignity and respect and basic constitutional rights. I don't want to be doing those things. But that is what it is right now. We have two separate justice systems, where one is, if you're a victim of a crime and you look a certain way, it's going to be covered by the media. It's going to be resolved in a certain way. And then we have our cases where we have to have press conferences and rallies, and we have to beg the government to intervene. And that's not okay. And that's why it's the most important work of our time. And so we're disappointed. We're not deterred. We're pressing on. We absolutely will keep you guys updated on everything that we're doing, but we're definitely pushing toward the 200th day to be in DC. We hope that everyone can join us, because the message cannot be that U.S. citizens can go overseas and commit crimes against other U.S. citizens and come back and say that they're on base, that they're safe, that they're not going to be arrested, that there's going to be such a delay in the investigation that the evidence will have time to dissipate and they'll have time to change their stories or work on the evidence. That can't be the message, because this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we have U.S. constitutional rights, and there's victims' rights, and we're going to fight for that. We're going to fight for that, whether the victim of the crime is Shanquilla or whether it's any Black woman. We're going to fight for that because it's deserved. It's our right as U.S. citizens. So I'll have, do you want to speak? Okay. Do you want to speak? Okay. So I can take questions.
So wait, you mentioned a delay. Is there any kind of evidence you can share that was shared with you also the reason why the government DOJ said they?
Sure. I said there was a delay, meaning that the video was released on November 16th. So we were advised today that the US authorities didn't begin an investigation until after their own autopsy had been conducted, which would have been well after the video came out. And really the bigger issue is that without the video, before the video even came out, if you all remember, there was a statement released saying no foul play. Before any evidence was even entered, there was a statement made saying, "Oh, there's no foul play." That statement was never retracted, but because the case was never taken seriously from the beginning, that caused the delay. That caused Mexico to have to do their own autopsy, then the FBI to have to wait for the Robinson family to have the body transported. All of these things should have been done by U.S. federal authorities if they took the case seriously from the beginning, but it wasn't taken seriously from the beginning. The people had to move the case. We had to demand that the case be taken seriously. And those delays are going to cause discrepancies in an investigation. We all watched First 48, know that that time when you're investigating a murder or a homicide or any crime, that you have to investigate swiftly. We saw it with the kidnapping case in Mexico. Immediately, the FBI said $50,000 reward. We're moving in. We're coordinating with the Mexican authorities. There was no swift action on this case. There was absolutely no urgency on the part of the U.S. authorities. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I guess what discrepancy that they told you as far as like the Mexican autopsy?
Oh, okay, sure. So,
That you can review.
yeah, absolutely, because it's going to be revealed. It's going to be the feds are going to release their results of their autopsy, which was done after the body was embalmed and then transported. And they're advising that there isn't a spinal cord injury, that the Mexican autopsy says there's a spinal cord injury, but according to them, there is no spinal cord injury. They're also advising that there's swelling on Shankula's brain, but that her cause of death is undetermined. So to
What?
me, if you are in an investigation, how are you closing an investigation on a case where the cause of death is undetermined, but we all have seen a video showing a brutal attack? That doesn't, it's not giving undetermined. It's giving there's a video and now you're telling us something else, not to believe our own eyes, which is why I invoked George Floyd's case, which is why I said, that was a case where we were being told, don't believe your own eyes. Don't believe that Derek Chauvin has his knee on his neck for 8 minutes. Believe that it's really a heart palpitation or he's having some sort of drug overdose. We see the video. We see what happened. We see that she's being beaten, but we're being told that, oh, the cause of death is undetermined. And that can happen if the autopsies are delayed. That can happen.
So, there's an arrest warrant out of Mexico. How does the FBI statement today impact that arrest warrant? And did they give you any indication that they will extradite the people who were on that trip, we should call it?
Right. That basically what they're doing is what I've talked about from the beginning, which is ping ponging. The FBI today said, well, we're not going to press charges, but Mexico could do something if they want to do. And if Mexico wants to do something, then it's no problem. We'll be fully cooperative with anything that Mexico wants to do. So again, as you all know, I went to Mexico and Mexico said, we've sent everything over to Interpol. We've sent everything to FBI. We've sent all of our documents. We're just awaiting word from U.S. authorities on what needs to be done next. So there's a Department of International Affairs, the Department of State, obviously, who we've contacted and sent a letter to, and they know what needs to be done. And that's what's so frustrating about the case, because it's not something that's without precedence or without a protocol. And so for the United States government and for the FBI today to sit and tell myself, Mrs. Robinson, Quilla, and Mr. Robinson, that there's nothing to be done on their end, they're closing their investigation and I guess Mexico could do something if they want to, is absolutely absurd. Not just for Shanquilla's case, though. It's not absurd just for her case. It's absurd for any person who would be a victim of a crime overseas committed by a U.S. citizen. How can you just say, okay, well, as long as we make it back home, we're not going to get in trouble? That makes no sense.
That's right. Has
Yes.
Mexico?
1 second. Yes.
Just out of my own curiosity, you talked about some of the action that might be taking place. The path forward right now. What do you see as the path forward right now? And if you give justice or make sure this doesn't happen. Because
Yeah.
you mentioned you teased a little bit about staying in Washington, but I would also imagine too there's also all this other stuff as happened in Mexico as well. That probably needs to be a lot more communication.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we've been asking for from the beginning, which is a high level of diplomatic intervention. It's going to take more than the local FBI field office in Charlotte, with all due respect to all the work that they do. It's going to take more than that, because there has to be a high level of diplomatic intervention. Heads of state have to talk to heads of state and say, listen, this is what it is. This is what happened. It's on video. We can't have U.S. citizens do this. Cannot occur. How are we going to resolve this? There needs to be a result in an amendment to the treaty or whatever has to be done. But it cannot be that you can commit a crime and come back and say you're on base. That can't be the result. So between then and now, we're absolutely preparing for the rally on the 200th day on May 19th. And then we definitely are going to still be, beating down doors and asking for our meetings in terms of, the head of the International Affairs Committee and their chair and all of the things that we've been doing. We're still going to continue that. And that's why I say, on behalf of the family, we are deeply disappointed, but we're not deterred. Yes.
I know that Mexico has issued an arrest warrant, but has Mexico issued a extradition request?
Right. And I think the issue right now, and what I'm kind of alluding to, is that if an extradition request was needed, if that was the one piece that we were all here waiting for, why wouldn't there be a high level of diplomatic intervention to say, hey, there's criminals among us. They're walking around and they hurt someone. Can you get this? There needs to be communication. And the reason why there's no communication is because the case hasn't been taken seriously.
So I guess, like, to your knowledge, has Mexico issued like a formal request for extradition?
Absolutely. Like I said, I was advised by the Attorney General in Baja Sur directly. We have sent everything. They have everything. And remember, for the FBI to conduct their investigation, they've advised us we're in communication with Mexico. That's how we did our investigation, to say we're not pressing charges. So if they're in communication with Mexico, why isn't part of the communication, hey guys, forgot to drop off the extradition paperwork?
So just to be clear, so Mexico has sent a request for extradition. Has the State Department said that they've received it, or have they said?
The State Department has not advised. What I'm saying is, and what I've said since I went to Mexico, which is they have advised all the documents they need to submit have been submitted. So now we're being advised, well, we're not going to press charges in the United States. Maybe Mexico's going to do something. So the point is, if you're having ongoing communication because you're involved in an investigation and you really give a damn, then that's a very simple communication. Hey guys, we're not going to be able to press charges, but you guys go ahead and prepare your extradition paperwork so we can
Now that's
get it sorted out,
facts.
since
That's
there's
facts.
criminals over here just running around free and it's hurting an American family. That's a very simple communication.
Prior to the update that went out this afternoon, what was the last communication that you had with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the States?
The U.S. Attorney's Office in Mexico?
And the U.S.
We were not communicating with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the United States. We were communicating with the FBI and the State Department.
And what was the most recent update you had gotten on the case prior to the one that was released?
Oh, we were all getting the same update, which is we were investigating. Yeah, for the last 5 months.
I know the last time we spoke, you mentioned that you were meeting with White House officials last week or the week of April 3rd, did that meeting happen and what happened in that case? And then from the FBI, I'm trying to get more clarity. What are they saying they need, or what is the thing that they're saying they're missing? If they're saying, Mexico wants to press charges, we can move on, whatever, but an extradition request has been filed, an arrest warrant has been filed, what are they saying is the missing piece so they can, move forward with extraditing someone if that is?
Good question.
Okay, so two
The first question
questions.
was the White House
Right.
official.
We are still going to White House, and we are still moving towards that, because our belief has always been from the beginning that it's always going to be bigger than the local feds in Charlotte. That it's going to take a high level of diplomatic intervention, because heads of state have to talk to heads of state. That's just the bottom line. It's a transnational criminal case, and so it's going to take a little bit more, especially because it all involves one of us. Again, I hate to keep repeating that in the Mexican kidnapping case, that was the most swift action ever. So saying to Shanquilla's family, oh, we had to look around, it took us a while, we had to wait to get this autopsy result, is absolutely disingenuous, because swift action could have been taken if it was taken seriously from the beginning. And then what was the second part of your question?
What was the missing piece? Well, actually,
Oh, okay.
to piggyback off of that, so I know you mentioned you were supposed to meet the week of April 3rd. Are they receptive to meet with you, or are they pushing that behind you?
Well, the issue is everyone is ping ponging against everyone else. So first, you have to meet with this person in order to meet with this person in order to have a meeting with this. So we have now completed this piece, which again, we're disappointed by what was said today, but we're not deterred. So that's what I'm saying. We're continuing on our same path to the rally on May 19th and to have meetings with heads of state.
So you met with FBI Charlotte today. Talk to me a little bit more about that meeting, and then what are they saying is the missing piece so that they can move forward? Because I know the extradition request has been put.
Okay, so there is not a missing piece. So I don't want there to be a narrative saying that there's a missing piece. There's no missing piece. There's a video. Her cause of death is currently undetermined, and they've advised, based on their own autopsy, that they cannot determine a cause of death for Shanquilla. Her autopsy that took place in the United States was done after her body was embalmed, which means that there was a delay, obviously. There's an undetermined cause of death and a video showing her being beaten. So you tell me what the missing piece is.
Well, I guess I guess the question is, so if Mexican authority would say, hey, here are all the paperwork, requests and so forth. So what would be necessary for them to actually extradite someone?
So I unfortunately am not able to be present for the supposed conversations between Mexican authorities and United States authorities on this particular case, right? I can only say what I was advised. So the Mexican authorities are saying to me, hey, listen, we don't mind giving you our investigative packet. Here it is. This is exactly the documentation that we've already sent to Interpol and the FBI. So then the FBI says, I mean, we could do something if Mexico would do something. But do you see how all that does is just create more delay and create all of this that we have to be here today? That all it would take is for someone at a high level to intervene and say, hey guys,
That's it.
it's an international murder investigation. Let's figure out what needs to be done. If there has to be a meeting, if I need to get on a plane, if I have to go there, if we have to do a Zoom, whatever it is. You'd think on a transnational criminal case that would affect tourism in Mexico, that would affect criminal law, obviously, in the United States in terms of not deterring people from going overseas to commit crimes and then returning back to the United States, that somebody could figure out how to have a meeting for them to communicate. And not to mention the fact that it's being represented to us that there is some sort of communication, because there was communication and documents exchanged for the FBI here to investigate. So it's not that they're saying we don't have communication. So if the missing piece is a document, right? Just like we can talk about it and say, hey, the missing piece is a document, so can they. and they should be. And if they were taking serious, they would have those documents in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the person that the Mexican authorities has the arrest warrant for, person's name and how they were involved? If it's a friend, former friend. There is a name that is out there, but I don't know if you've talked to Mexican authorities about that name and that arrest warrant. Or anything you talk about that person that they want arrested?
Talk about the person.
The arrest warrant. There's a person, there's a name that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you could say the person's name of the arrest warrant and the person that they want extradited.
Okay. So I've said it before, it's not a secret. Um, the Mexican authorities have already identified in their investigation, based on the identification of the aggressor in the video that we all saw, they identified Dejanay Jackson as the aggressor in the case. Yes,
I know she hope these questions,
Civil
child.
action, a possibility?
certainly.
And another follow, did the FBI give you any indication if they interviewed any of the people who were on that fishing clause?
Right. And they did advise that there were interviews conducted. And that's why I say um, any discrepancies, and I can speak plainly because at this point it's why. Um, if you wait till 5 months after someone committed a crime, I'm not a trained investigator, but I would imagine that the people would have time, if they were involved, allegedly, in a crime, they would have the opportunity and time and space to delete text messages if that's what they wanted to do, to talk to each other about the case, which is why, generally speaking, in investigations, once you know there's an issue, you immediately and swiftly investigate to prevent delays that would prevent discrepancies, that would prevent justice from being served. And so that's why it's so disheartening that the U.S. authorities allowed there to be such a delay in this case.
I want to piggyback off Joe's question
Sure.
for a second there. You mentioned possible, lawsuit is not out of the realm of possibility, but a lawsuit, potentially civil suit, would create some sort of discovery and potentially knowing what documents were received and what documents were not received. Is your belief, or is it a mission to find out exactly where the ball was dropped? Because I'm getting a sense from you, you're feeling like the ball was dropped, but there, if not, the ball wasn't dropped, there was certainly a lot of bureaucratic red tape, or there is a lot of bureaucratic red tape that you have to go through that you kind of need to simplify.
I don't think there is a lot of bureaucratic tape. I think it's pretty simple that in the United States, that when there are Black and brown victims of crimes, there is a whole other set of things that have to be done than not. So that's why I said, Ahmaud Arbery's case, Miss Wanda had to go to the state attorney herself. She had to go hire attorneys. She had to beg these people to investigate a case that in the end, we all know ended up in convictions, and convictions not just in local court, but also in federal court for civil rights. Wanda, a black mom, had to put that. It's not like the justice system said, hey, here's your justice. Here's what the course of action is. Here's what you need to do. She had to push for that. Sandra Bland's mom had to push for that. In George Floyd's case, their family had to push for those things. And so it's not something that is unexpected. I mean, I would think as a student of the law and as an attorney for 16 years, we could get somewhere with it, but we're not there.
But as far as that open record is at least part of the e-discovery process that would be part of any lawsuit, is that something you're actually looking at just to see exactly where the ball may have been dropped to?
I mean, there's other ways for us to do that, a similar exploration. And I say sure in terms of a civil lawsuit because it's never outruled, but that's not where we are in this moment. In this moment, the frustration is, why is there two different systems? That's the frustration. Why do we have to go and think about, oh, let's use a civil remedy and bend ourselves all out of shape for something that's fair in the Constitution, basic, you're a victim of a crime, this is how it should be handled, it's on video, this is how it should be handled. Why do we have to do all of those things? I think is the frustration at this moment, and why we're saying we're pushing to still go to Washington, and we want all of you to join us there, because it really is bigger than Shinquilla, and it's very close to my heart, obviously, because these are my clients. And I got to learn and know Shinquilla after her passing, But it should absolutely, this should be a packed room. This is a national issue. Anyone could go on vacation. Anyone could go on vacation with a group of people with malintent and be hurt, and then the people can come back and say, "We're on base. We're okay. FBI isn't going to get us. We're fine." That should not be the case.
Can you be more specific about when you're saying that you're going to go to Washington, like what your next steps are?
Oh, sure. On May 19th, we're going to go to Washington and we're going to march to the Department of State. Yes.
I just wanted to clarify. So you said that the FBI told you that they had conducted interviews with people who were on the trip with Shankwella?
Right.
Did they say how many people?
How many people that no.
They interviewed? Just
No.
with people.
Right. They said that they interviewed people that were the travel mates and that they interviewed people who were in the house and that they were in communication with Mexican authorities. Which is why I say, well, if you're in communication with them and there's an error in the process, like they're having a problem, like they say, okay, well, we can't bring an investigation because XYZ, right? Whatever they put into their inputs can't give the output that we're requesting, then they should be able to have that conversation.
And were there any other pieces of the investigation beyond the autopsy and the interviews with people who were, I guess, on the trip that the FBI disclosed to you?
Not that we were advised of.
So the investigation kind of comprised of those two pieces as far
Yeah.
as you know.
It comprised of them doing the autopsy after the body had already been embalmed, and they advised that they spoke to witnesses. So that's all we got. Yes.
As a blogger, I'm one of the bloggers that's covering the case.
Oh, okay.
What can we do to help with this case?
Yeah, I think being present is the most important thing. I think this case came from social media and from people saying this is not enough. I think most importantly is if you are going to share information on the case, please make sure it's factual information because that actually hurts the family. And it hurts the case.
Absolutely.
Because then U.S. authorities are allowed to say, well, we heard this, or we heard that, or this is this, or this is that, or it's not a real case, it's an internet hoax, or whatever the case may be, which can set the case back. So if sharing information on the case, keeping Shankula's name in the media is super important, but it's super important to attach it to actual factual information.
There you go.
So that we're not hurting the family and we're not hurting the case.
My question is for Shankula's mom and dad and family. I'm sure this has been really hard for them since this happened last year. With the news today, emotionally, how are they? Are they having a hard time? Just worried about their emotional state and everything they've had to go through after grieving for their daughter and now pushing for justice, actually.
Sure, and I opened with it, which is they're extremely disappointed, as anyone would be in that situation, but they're not being deterred by it because they understand that they've had to carve their own path from the beginning. And so they're disappointed in this moment, but understand that more work has to be done.
So just briefly going back to my question about the march on May 19th.
Mhm.
So once you reach a destination that consists of state, is that correct? So what comes after, once you complete the march, you get to where you're going, what's, the overall goal?
Well, the issue is we won't be there on May 19th if we can get a high level of diplomatic intervention before then. If the communication or the alleged missing piece can be completed before then we won't be there. But if not, we will be there and we'll be demanding it because it cannot be that someone can go overseas and commit a crime against a U.S. citizen and come back and not be affected in any way. There isn't any reason. It doesn't make sense. We all saw it on video.
With the Department of Justice saying they're not gonna prosecute, do you think that like the, White House officials are gonna be open to meeting with you guys? Do you feel like, do you think that's gonna be able to happen?
I think that they should be because of what I've been saying and what the family is saying, which is Shanquilla's case is unique, but it's not without precedent and protocol. And it makes it more apparent all of the hoops and the things that they've had to go through that there's two systems happening because why, right? It doesn't make sense. And so I think they should be open to it. I think all U.S. citizens should be open to us having that meeting and having that discussion and figuring out how we get to the bottom of something like this. Okay. All done. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Pastor.
Um, Chef, I did not like those questions
I didn't either.
because we're gonna pretend like we don't know what the root of this issue is and why we are here. This don't happen. This just don't happen. We've seen what happens when you are in a foreign country and something happens to an American citizen on foreign soil. We've seen how the US responds. We've seen how those countries respond. Everybody knows you do not play and touch these Americans when they are in your country.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
We
Hey,
know what's
guys,
at the root of this. Hello.
can you hear us? Wait, is that me? It is. Hold on. My YouTube.
I think they
Can you
may
hear us?
muted.
It don't show he muted on this end. You may have to go out and come back in. I don't know. I can't hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, maybe he's gonna go out and come back in. Listen, this I honestly have no words for what we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much gaslighting and so
Mm-hmm.
much like manipulation in those questions. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing, man? Like, stop playing with us like we dumb and stupid.
Because everybody understands what this is. Like, this is not our first time doing this, and it was being repetitive. That's why I said we need to redo on this press conference.
Absolutely.
Whoever was in that room, yo, you asking the wrong questions. There was some better questions to ask to get more information for y'all articles, but you know, y'all too busy gaslighting everybody.
That yo, what was that? I'm
What is the issue? I don't what is the what do you mean what is the issue? This does not happen, yo. And she studied saying this is one of the reasons why we were all talking in the chat, right? You saw, Chef. From day one there was a mishandling. Long before her family and the US authorities received her remains, she'd been embalmed. That's a lot of physical evidence that they were never going to get back. It's layered mishandling at this point, and not everybody's just passing the buck back and forth because nobody wants to deal with it. This don't happen to non-black people. um I truly did not want to get upset about this, and I didn't want everybody else to get upset. This is very sensitive to us because this is so familiar.
yeah, I'm so confused. Hear anything? You can't. Oh, he said you can hear. Okay. Yeah, I'm really bothered by that. Like, and y'all know what was it? A couple of weeks ago when we read the concierge statement or his interview to the police, to the Mexican police or the Mexican authorities. Not only did we read that, but there was also a manager that was working that they got a statement from, but theirs was cut pretty short. But just in that statement alone, what we heard from the concierge was heartbreaking enough. I mean, like honestly, that was heartbreaking enough.
Yes.
And I just listening at them talking about that they was chuckling around the pool and all kind of stuff, and they left saying that they were going to eat dinner and stayed at a hotel close to the airport so they can be on the next thing smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to sit up and really honestly feel like they should be comfortable living their life?
Hmm.
No, absolutely not. I hope every time y'all go to the bathroom, it's uncomfortable. That's how bad. I don't. I like get out of here.
Um, oh my gosh, yo, I'm just, I'm trying to be numb. I want to be numb. I just didn't like the line of questioning. I don't like the fact that we don't know how we got here and how um what this says in terms of the mistakes they've made. I'm not okay with that. Those people in that room knew exactly what it was.
I agree.
And there was a good
Um,
line of questioning. Hello.
absolutely,
Hey,
absolutely. Hey, guys, what's going on? How are you?
I'm disappointed, highly disappointed, because I'm a criminal justice major. Once it was known that she was missing, it should have already been a search going on. We have video that their friends beat her up to death. How do you not see any probable cause to charge them with anything? And you
Yeah,
want to say, well, Mexico wasn't working with us. You weren't working with them either. It goes both hand in hand. Mexico failed on their part to actually do something to begin with. And and the United States just said, well, we'll wait for Mexico. We don't know what's going on, but we all know that she has swelling of the brain. It's just ridiculous.
yeah. I'm this new autopsy that they're saying that they can't find the cause of death, and not only that, they're reporting that she didn't have any spinal cord injuries. Like we really saw her in this video, like literally flip, like just like what are y'all talking about? Not only that, I, I'm at a loss for words, y'all. I really am. This is crazy to me. I don't. What more do we need? What more do we need? We've seen this happen with our own eyes,
Right.
and we've also seen these people try to gaslight us and tell us. You got Nazir and his mom telling him that, and it almost make you think: did he already had he really spoke to federal agents in regards to this? Like, yo, I'm really asking a lot of questions that I feel like we are being gaslit about, and these are the real questions that should be asked. Something is still not right in this. Like, it's not right. I
Right.
just, I, I'm upset with. I really am.
Right. And I'm disappointed more for the fact that we seen George Floyd. Yes, we had video evidence, but it took a protest, us protesting, for him to get justice. It's like we can't just protest every time an African American dies. They don't take it seriously the the nation decides to protest. That's when they will get off their behinds and they will do the work. And it's disappointing. You you can't say, well, with the Amon Opry case, we got it done. No, what happened was you had I watched that whole Aubrey case. It was it was so infuriating, but it's like you just can't just tell us, oh yeah, we see this death. We have video proof of it. We have the suspect that is in America. We just can't charge them with anything. So now you're basically telling criminals if they murder somebody, they can get off because if you have video evidence in another country, and if the United States and that country don't work together, there's no reason to press charges on anybody.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I honestly speaking, I don't know how they didn't have enough evidence.
Can I say this though? And I think it's
Like,
obvious because I just don't understand how they sent an autopsy with that. Like they initially they were saying a spinal cord injury and stuff, right? I
yeah,
just don't understand how they sent her back embalmed without doing a proper investigation, and there was so many things at play that were suspicious. Um, but for me, where I am, I'm tired of having to be a social justice warrior. It is so exhausting and draining, and you can't not do it because honestly, our generation using social media to apply pressure and force these people to listen up and to be made aware of stuff that is happening in different communities around this country, around this world, truthfully. It's the only reason why we've gotten a small amount of justice that we have gotten. But when it comes down to it, I'm tired of having to people are elected officials, people are hired to prosecute cases and all this stuff. And it's like we gotta force them to do their jobs. I'm tired of having to, what are you there for? What are you getting up and going to work and doing every day?
Right,
got you.
Picking and
And
choosing and combing through cases that you're gonna care about. You're supposed to care about every case that comes across your desk. Because that's your job.
right. Regardless of race, gender, sexuality, religion, you're all supposed to care about the case.
You can't
And,
just decide, oh, well, this person has a lot of people behind them and their family and support. So now we're going to actually do what we're getting paid to do. You're supposed to do that for every case.
yeah, I agree.
right,
This is one thing that they both fumbled the bag in my opinion. U.S. and Mexico.
Any
Starting with Mexico.
Yes, it
I
started because it's where the crime happened. Any
right,
absolutely.
physical evidence that existed was in Mexico, and once we're talking about moving remains and and shipping remains somewhere, and that room that villa had to be overturned, and we got to clean up crime scenes and stuff. It what I mean, I'm not surprised by the lack of physical evidence. Is my point. I'm saying that there are other things aside from physical evidence that shows something happened to her. This was not just alcohol poisoning. Something happened to her, and it seems like I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this either. So they just literally passing it back and forth because they don't want to be bothered. And it's like, yo, why are we having to force y'all to do y'all jobs?
right.
That's where
And
I
then,
am. The physical evidence is not shocking to me because again, they fled the country. The people at that villa was trying to clean and wrap everything up. They knew
Yes.
something was off. They knew something was wrong. They again, not only do we not want to get bad press for our villa because we're trying to make sure we still get people occupants, but we also don't want to have a huge case looming from the Mexican officials. And then we like from its very beginning, there was a bunch of people involved in a cover up, starting with the six, starting with them, then down to the concierge and the people in the villa. Like I said, it's layered. Then it's the police. Then it's the prosecutors. Now it's the U.S. authorities. It's just layered at this point, and it's always us. It's always us. They would have moved heaven and earth if she was a white woman. We
yes.
have
Exactly.
seen them
It
move
would have
heaven
been
and earth.
over enough evidence if it was a white woman. Come on
We
Look,
now.
have
if you have,
seen them move heaven and earth for these white women when they go in these other countries and they go
right,
missing.
right. If she had blonde hair, blue eyes, oh, the
The
whole world,
world would
like,
have stood still until they knew what was going on.
right. But since she's a black girl, it's just, okay, put her with the others. If we feel like dealing with her, we'll deal with it. If not, we're just gonna hopefully wait and hope that everyone forgets it.
I'm tired of signing petitions. I'm tired of tweeting. I'm tired of posting, coming on YouTube, hitting up YouTubers and seeing if they heard about this, getting in comments. I'm because we should not have to do this for you to do your job. You could literally go into private practice and practice law there. Why are you a prosecutor if you're not going to do your job? Leave it to the people that care.
Right. That's how I feel. I
Mm.
feel like, and Donna said is in the chat, we shouldn't have to protest for justice. We shouldn't have to, but it's always happening. George Floyd protest. Breonna Taylor protest. Freaking Trayvon Martin was another protest. The killing in Tennessee was a protest. We can't keep protesting every time one of us dies. And the
Do
government just sits there and be like, well, we don't have nothing else to do. We don't know how to help you.
can I say this really quick too? I'm so sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're
this
fine.
for me, and I'm saying this is like I genuinely have to desensitize myself because I was depressed for months behind what took place in Ferguson and what happened to Mike Brown, and I was very active on Tumblr at the time. I was in my mid-20s. I was very active on Tumblr at the time, and um I genuinely was like Chef, you think you have been tuned into this case. I would spend hours every night watching Ustream. I don't know if you guys remember Ustream, but I would watch Ustream because all the protesters would be in Ferguson and they would be, protesting all night long. And we would watch these people's civil rights get violated. They have done so many heinous things to those people who were peacefully protesting. And by next day, before the sun could come up, traditional media would change the narrative and make it seem like those people in Ferguson being violent. We watched them live on Ustream night after night. My friends and I, we would raise money to send supplies to them. They were throwing tear gas bombs into people's homes. There were people who weren't even involved in the protest. They were just truly harassing the officials. They were truly harassing the people that lived in Ferguson. And I mean, even the day he was unalived by Darren Wilson, that that man's body sat in that street for hours. His mom got the call from people in that community, and he laid in that street for hours. There were people who were literally in their homes watching that whole situation play out, and it triggered me the end result, and I was depressed for months behind that. And whenever I think about it, it really takes me to a dark place because most of the people who were protesting when the media left, most of those people are not alive anymore. The infamous picture of the guy with locks who was throwing the tear gas canister back wearing an American flag shirt, that man is gone. One by one, those people went missing or just ended up unalive out of nowhere, mysteriously. And it always takes me to a dark place. And I realized that I was not meant to be a social justice warrior, but because I can't handle it. But I say that we literally cannot stop because they don't stop. They truly do not stop. And I'm tired of having to do this. Yo, when I know people have their criticism of Tamika Mallory, but when Tamika Mallory said that she ended up addicted to prescription medication because she was having trouble sleeping and she was needing prescription medication to just get her to lay down at night and quiet her thoughts. I wholeheartedly understood what that felt like because again, it's almost impossible to turn it off. And we are talking about people who literally dive headfirst into this stuff. Anytime something happens, they are going from city to city to city, comforting families, involving themselves in all of this injustice. They are, I mean, they are literally just pouring it on, pouring it on, pouring it on them. And you cannot shake it off. Like, how do you just not care about something like this? And it's not just one family, it's the multiple families. You're trying to get legislative changes, you're trying to get people to actually do their jobs. It is hard, yo. I genuinely respect anybody who does this full time, and I'm not talking about the ones doing it for clout and money. I'm talking about the people that's really in the streets, these grassroots community organizations that is right there helping these families for real, before the Ben Crumps and Al Sharptons and all these people come in and get involved. They're the ones that's doing the real work. I truly, truly have give them the utmost respect because it is so incredibly difficult. But I genuinely am tired of having to be a social justice warrior.
I'm with you on that. I totally am. And I agree with you. It's exhausting for us to be these internet warriors trying to get justice when we can't, when we get burned. We have moments where we burn out. There's times where cases get way too difficult and we can't handle it. But then if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Because no one else really cares.
I'm never going to stop standing up for our community. I'm never going to stop standing up for all of us, honestly, black men, black women, black children. I'm always going to stand up for, like I said, for us. But times like this, I just get so frustrated because it's like, yo, you guys go to work every day and do nothing. You do nothing. And then
Right.
they infiltrate these systems, and they pour in their bias. And like in 2023, why are we talking like talking about this from this standpoint? This should have never happened. um I really do want to change the subject because I genuinely don't want to go there mentally, guys. I'm okay. I'm just going to continue to say this. I'm not going to forget your name, Shanquilla, and I'm never going to stop telling people. Not only did you not deserve what you got from this world, but your life mattered. Your life matters.
I'm with you on that.
Your life matters. Everybody who has experienced this, their life matters. Shanquilla Robinson, Breonna Taylor, Ayanna Jones, Renisha McBride. We're going to be here all day naming people. Your life matters, and I'm not going to. Alua Toyin, your life matters. I'm not going to stop telling people that your life matters and you didn't deserve what happened to you.
Um, I'm there. I'm really um I don't know what to say. Um well, listen, y'all heard that. Um Keep you guys updated in regards to if any information drops or if something else happens. This was not the news that I could use on a Wednesday. Okay. Today has really been off anyway. The vibe has just for me has been extremely off. So um
Chef, I just want to say one more thing and I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done.
sure.
So we are all entitled to a break. I am I'm not a doctor, but I do have a PhD in reality TV. I don't know if you heard. I am ordering for everybody to find something that's going to lift their spirits, that's going to make them smile, even if it's for a few minutes. And if you are looking for something to do, game night is needed tonight.
I'm with you on that part.
Game night is needed tonight. We will be having our weekly game night on Ranting with Ricardo's channel. Um, oh my God, what is the game night for tonight, Chef? It's
Booty
uh
call and I can't think of the other one. Booty
yeah, it's
call.
y'all remember the movie Booty Call for the 90s, right? With Viv J. Fox and Jamie Foxx. It's gonna be Booty Call and something else. It's always a movie and a TV show, guys. We're gonna be on Ranting with Ricardo's channel, 8:30, same time as always. Everybody is so welcome to join. Um, it's an
Oh, and
open
let me
invitation.
say this while we are saying that we were supposed to start Love is Blind reviews today, but we're gonna push those to tomorrow. Okay.
Yes,
Before night court, of course. But we're gonna
guys.
push those to tomorrow to just kind of relax today because I can't lie to y'all. My mind is not focused on reviewing no TV show.
Yes,
I'm just
Look,
saying.
I'm with you on that.
guys. If you need some good mess to watch to distract you, go ahead and watch Love Is Blind because
Look, I'm adding it.
it's gonna give you a brief distraction and you can laugh at all that foolishness on there.
Look,
And
I'm
make
about to
sure you
watch
guys
it
come back
right
for the
now.
reviews. We deserve, y'all, we deserve a pick me up. Okay.
We
I'm telling you, this is heavy. It is dark and it lingers on your spirit. And cause honestly, you and your mental health and your well being is just as important. And we have to do what we can to preserve and protect it. And it's okay to take a break from this. It's okay. So you do what you need to do to pick yourself up and to relax. We will reconvene very soon because we are not giving up on this situation, as the family's attorney has said. Not giving up on this. We're going to continue to speak her name. We're going to continue to pursue justice for her. And whatever justice may be at this point, whatever's going to bring that family peace, we're always going to continue to support them. Again, whatever it is going to be for you to relieve these feelings and emotions that I'm seeing everybody saying they're feeling in the chat. Again, guys, watch something. I watch a cartoon just because it's mindless, right? If you gotta
right.
go hang out with somebody, if you gotta take a nap, if you gotta, blow a few trees, whatever you gotta do. Hey, yeah, we having game night tonight. I really need game night tonight. You guys, it's an open invitation, Ranting with Ricardo, Shannon. You guys are so welcome to join 8:30 tonight. Go watch a few of Chef's old reviews. One of them Bishop videos is gonna make you laugh. That's what I pull up from time to time. One of them old videos about the Bishop. Um, Whatever it is that you guys can do to relieve and alleviate your stress, please, please do so. I just want everyone to be okay. We support you, we care for you, and you matter.
Yes.
Absolutely, I totally agree. That's the biggest takeaway from this. You matter. And I appreciate you all for the support. Honestly, um, y'all know we have been covering this from day one. Um, as soon as Gerald broke the news, I was on it. Like I'm like, yo, what is this? What is this? And so we've been on it from the very beginning. Um, and where people were misinforming others, we were trying to make sure the facts were straight. And so I just appreciate you guys again for the support. And like I said, I won't hush about this. If you follow me on social media, you probably finna see me ranting on social media, just liking to keep it moving. But I just my heart is truly broken by this. It really is. And I hope all six of those individuals are never comfortable ever a day in their life again. And I mean that with all sincerity. Whatever that looks like. You go to the bathroom, you burn up, burn, whatever, I don't care. Okay. Because at this particular point, you deserve whatever coming to you. Y'all left that girl over there knowing exactly what took place in that villa. And y'all happy go lucky brought yourself back to the US. And that was enough for me. I can't. So again, thank you guys for the support. Let's please keep the Robinson family in our prayers as well. I said this at the beginning of the live. My biggest concern is Mr. Bernard Robinson. We have not heard from that man in quite some time. And it really bothers me because we see Miss Salamandra and we see Shanquilla's sister, but we don't see Mr. Bernard. And so my hope and my prayer is that he's okay and that um I'm just giving him a big old hug because I I I can't imagine his feelings. And so considering we haven't heard from him, we hadn't seen him at anything, I'm very concerned about him. So
I'm with you on that.
yeah. I'm going to contact Gerald and see if Gerald has contacted him or has spoken with him in the last few months because the last interview and the last time that we actually seen Mr. Robinson was back when um, he did an interview with Mark Lamont Hill, and that's been some months ago. That I think that was in January when they did that rally.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been some months ago, and I am seriously concerned about it. So listen, y'all, again, let's just pray. Let's love on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you just You just never know. And y'all got any final thoughts before we go?
Uh, Justice for Shanquilla Robinson.
Absolutely. Hashtag that. Make it trend on Twitter again. Because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we can't we can't be quiet. We just cannot allow that to take place. We just can't. So justice for Shanquilla Robinson, we will never forget your name.
never.
Same for Rasheem Carter. They are honestly going through a lot as well. You guys know that I've been keeping up with the Rasheem Carter case, but the way that these people are covering up things, and there's not a federal investigation open in regards to that. So it's just we just all around as a black community, we gotta stand for something, or we'll fight for anything. That's just in it anyway. Again, I appreciate you both for coming up here, keeping me company, and also giving your opinions about what's going on as well.
No problem.
All right, thank
Soon
you
Have a good
guys.
one, everybody.
have a good
You
one.
Bye,
too.
cousins.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, y'all, listen again. Thank you guys for everything. Please make sure you like this video. I'm probably going to break down the part of the press conference because I kind of wanted that to be like a separate video as well. Hey Omar, hey Kimmy, what's going on? What about Oh, yeah. I need to look into that again as well. There are so many cases and so many things to look back on and see where they are in progress and different things of that sort. So, y'all, let's just again keep a prayerful. Let's just stay prayerful, please, because there is another story that I do want to discuss as well. And then I also want to give you guys updates on Rasheem Carter. Um, case as well because they're saying now that the actual manager and the chief of police there in Taylorsville as along with a chief of police that works way in North Carolina are all in cahoots together. They have receipts, they have text messages, they have Facebook DMs, they have a lot of stuff in regards to this. So we're gonna have to break that down. But again, guys, I appreciate this. Again, we're going to continue to say her name. And again, if you have a Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, try to keep that hashtag and trend going. Okay. Thank you all for the blessings, the blessings that you sent. I don't even I know for a fact I didn't even monetize this video because I really just wanted to get it off of my chest and talk about it. So with that being said, thank you guys for sending over blessings. All right. So I'm gonna get out of here. Again, like I said, Love is Blind was set for today. I'm gonna move that till tomorrow. Kind of give everybody a some time to um you right, Omar. It definitely seems that way. But we'll move it to tomorrow, so we'll have time to focus on it. Okay. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay prayed up, and I will see you guys tomorrow.